Hello everybody. Throughout my videos here and there, I've been raving on these link belts from Fenner, these power twist belts here, for putting on machine tools, taking out vibrations, this, that, and the other. These don't develop a memory like a V-belt would if it sits static for a long time, and they just run smoother. They're actually a very, very great product. They're a little expensive, but they last an extremely long time and they work great. Now, I was asked a question earlier today on a video I put up last night as to why, since I review so many Harbor Freight items, I had not purchased their green Accu-Link belts and put them on my tools. And for one, I forgot that they actually sold them, but I'll kind of go through it real quick on why I never did buy one. Number one, the first one that I purchased was for my table saw. From Woodcraft, and it came with two nice machine pulleys, one for the motor, one for the arbor, as a kit. So I put that on there, and that's really where I fell in love with that. And that's a 1/2-inch belt there for that particular sheave setup on that tool. Then I wanted to install some on one of my lathes as well as my drill press, and it was a 3/8 belt. So Harbor Freight's belt's a 1/2-inch. This is a 3/8, so it wasn't going to work out for me. Then I moved into my milling machine, which was a 5/8 belt. Same deal. Harbor Freight sells a 1/2-inch. And there we go. Then, of course, I just put up the review, and I had purchased the link belt from Woodcraft some time ago on sale for $30, I believe. And it was a 1/2-inch belt, a 4-foot section. Now, I could have purchased the Harbor Freight one there and put that on, and I would have, had I remembered that they actually sold them. Because they are, if you used a 25% off coupon and purchased it at its full retail price, whatever it is, you could get a 5-foot section of that for $18.74 plus tax out the door. So an extra foot and a lot less money. And I looked on their website earlier today after that person had made that comment to me, and they get absolutely rave reviews on those belts. So if you guys are looking for a link belt for a good deal for a 1/2-inch sheave, you might check out the Harbor Freight stuff and put their green belt on there. Probably work just fine. So I'm going to go a little bit further into the video because I'm going to give a formula that Fenner puts out in terms of measuring the belt and getting it on your machine tool, and I'll show you what I know. So here is the 1/2-inch belt, which would be an A, and if you get it out of the package and it's already linked up and you need to take it apart, you turn it inside out. Okay, so these are facing the outside. Now they show doing all this toolless, but I'm going to tell you, with these new belts and trying to twist these things around, yeah, it is not as easy as they show in their videos. So pinch it off like so, pick a link. You can turn this with your fingers and it'll pull off like that, rotate 90, and now we're apart. Okay, to go together, same deal. You're going to go in the second hole here. Hopefully you can see that. Turn it 90, line it up, kind of pinch this off and bring this around. You're going to turn this and put it in. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to switch hands here since I'm left-handed. You know, they show just flicking it around with their thumb. Yeah, right. Let me tell you, you know, that is not going to happen. So you push it through kind of like so. I just turned it. Pull that up. Make sure you turn it 90 and get it lined up. And there you go, it's back together. And then you just flip the belt inside out and you can put it on. So I'm going to set up in a different shot here and show you how they're actually measured and give the formula that they cite to get this to the proper tension on one of your tools. Alright, well, I have the belt wrapped around the sheaves. You can see it's too long. And I'm going to pull it tight here. And we want to go 2 links in with this. So I'm pulling it up tight, and you can see I've got 2 links right here. I want this one to remain, so I'm going to take it apart one back. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to take it apart right here. So now I've removed those links. Now I'm going to stretch it back around, and you can see that it should want to go together. Okay, hopefully you see that those are going to go in just fine right there. Okay, that's where you want to be at this stage. This is a preliminary adjustment. This is not where you put it together. And what you want to do on the types of belts, or at least in these sizes from 3/8, a 1/2 inch, and 5/8, for every 24 links you have here, you want to take out one. So count up 24 links, remove one. Get to 48, remove one. Hopefully you understand what I mean. For every 24 links, you remove one. Now, what I found odd about their actual instructions is there are arrows printed on the belts. I don't know if you can see them, but every 10 links, they have an arrow. It's supposed to help you count off the links on your belt, but why wouldn't they use 12? Because 24 is where you remove length, not 20. So a little bit odd there. So I know just from experience I need to remove 3 links off my belt. Okay, so I'll remove those 3. And then I'll put the belt together inside out like I said. And by the way, those arrows are also an indicator of direction. This belt is directional. You need to put it in a specific direction. So make sure that they run properly, or you're going to actually put a lot of vibration in your tool rather than taking it out like is what you want. So I have it together now. I'll turn it inside out. Now, here's the thing. Once you follow their formula here, you're gonna have a really tough time trying to walk this belt on. So what you're really going to want to do at this stage is put it down on the ground, put your foot on it, and stretch it as much as you can, and then try to roll it on. Alright, well, I'm going to put the belt on the top sheave, bring it down, and start rolling it on this bottom sheave. And there you go, it's on. Okay, you have to muscle it on there, but it's at the proper tension right now. Now they also say after 24 hours of running, you should recheck the tension, and you may need to remove a link. But I kind of feel like that's not going to be the case for me, since I've really got on it and kind of pre-stretched the belt before I put it on, because using their formula, like I said, it is very almost impossible to get this on unless you pre-stretch it. You know, these are just my real life experiences here. Well, here's a quick shot of my drill press with the belt installed on it. This one is a little bit less critical on the actual length to tension the belts, primarily because this idler pulley here and the motor pulley and the spindle pulley, the tension is all regulated right here by the adjustment of the motor. So when you change speeds on this, you may change the adjustment tension here. So on these, that removing the links is a little bit unnecessary because you have a take up. Obviously, if you get it too long, you may run out of traveling. You may need to shorten one of the belts, or maybe both, depending on the situation. So for static belts like I just shown, that is the procedure according to Fenner on how you make adjustments to these belts. Now a lathe and a milling machine with a jack shaft, it's kind of the same principle as this. your tension is going to be set when you move your lever in and out to set the tension of your belts to make it drive. So even the table saw, for example, with the motor hanging out the back, it is not a static tension. The weight of the motor controls the tension on the belt. So depending on your application is really how your installation procedure is going to go, is really what I'm driving at. But for a static situation like we just showed, that procedure should work just fine. Now, if you had a lathe or something along those lines to where you were going to put on a belt without removing the spindle and whatever it would take, maybe a jack shaft, and you were trying to put this on, that's one beauty of these, is you can put them on without having to remove items. You just break the link, take it out, put in a new one, and put it back together. But since that formula they use is, you know, one off for every 24 links, if you didn't have a situation where it was adjustable and you did have a static situation, you'd be hard pressed to get it on there in that arena and get it to what they consider to be the proper tension. So anyway, I hope you realize what I'm getting at here, and just trying to explain some different scenarios on the application of these belts and tensioning them. So all in all, these are absolute great products, I will say again and again. I would highly recommend folks exploring the Harbor Freight Avenue and saving some money for their Accu-Link belts if they have a 1/2-inch sheave that the belt can ride in. It'd be nice if they sold 3/8 as well, because as far as I know, that's primarily the size you're going to get on like a drill press or things of that nature. So hope this helps in some way. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.